No, I couldn't get my headphones! Oh, crap! And we're back. Jeez. Alright, hopefully we don't lag too much because I am not at my... Situations have happened and I am not where I am usually at, which is farther away from the internet. So we shall see. The guest house lobby was wrapped in silence. The strings of tension binding Kraus, Natsuhi, and Eva had already loosened, and they were completely worn out, with their minds beginning to waver. Summary of the stream: I miss streamer. I'm just thinking. Yeah, the only thing that happened was George made a deal with Beatrice to bring back Shannon, but that hasn't happened yet. Shannon is not alive yet. But they're on the process of doing that. And the Alive group found the dead bodies of Hideyoshi, Rudolph, and Kairi. And Butler yelled at Beatrice for being a meanie. And that's about it. Every once in a while, they would stand up and walk around pointlessly as though fighting their drowsiness. It's so hot in here. Yay, Natsuki. Are you okay, Eva-san? Please do take it easy and rest. I told you I'm fine. The three of us are now the only adults. There's no time to rest. No matter what the cost, we must guard this place until the end. She spoke bravely, but she couldn't hide her rough breathing. It seemed that the fever, which had been calmed with medicine for a short time, had returned. It was very obvious that Eva's health was not good.
Take it easy. At least close your eyes. If something happens you need to be awake for, we will definitely wake you.
I'm near some blinders in a window and my cat is fighting with a curtain. I'm telling you I'm fine! Leave me alone! She seemed she was already unwilling to bulge. It seemed, jeez. Kraus and Natsuhi realized that even if they talked to her anymore when she was like this, it wouldn't reach her ears. So without saying anything more, they decided to let her be. To Eva right now, even having an argument like this would be burdensome. It would probably be better for her body if she just sat there with her mouth closed. Oh my gosh, cat. Oh my gosh. In truth, Eva was just a step away from being beaten down by drowsiness. Perhaps she shot back at them with a temper because she was trying to rouse herself and throw off her sleepiness. The clock would be pointed at 6 o'clock in the afternoon very soon. She had several snacks to distract herself from her drowsiness, so she didn't feel hungry. But now her lack of sleep made her feel like it was 6 o'clock in the morning, not the afternoon. Even supposing that the boat came at precisely 9 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. They still had more than 12 full hours to go. It was an overwhelmingly long stretch of time. Why does the one word frame I really want in this game gotta be the most annoying to get? That's how they get you. That's simply how they get you. Hello Sams, welcome back. What great timing. What is this? That's a good one. I like that. Big fan of the batter. Long. Painful. Hot. Even the sound of the clock torments my body now. In times like these, when that person pulls his hand on my forehead, the fever fades at once. But that person no longer exists. As Eva's mind grew foggy, she was once again gripped by a deep sadness. She had already cried herself dry. Even so, the sadness of losing her beloved husband had not been exhausted. I was wrong. Yay! What do you mean? The new witch and Eva were fundamentally the same being. If Eva talked to her, she would always respond. I thought if I could gain... Oh, no, wrong person. I thought if I could gain the position of the Ushiramiya family head, that alone would be enough. But then, as soon as I saw that mountain of gold, my greed grew. I was struck by a desire to have that mountain all to myself. That's nothing to be ashamed of. After all, it's your natural right as the Ushiramiya family head. How could you give up even a bit of that to anyone else? I was gripped by that temptation, which is why you were born. Well, you are a young version of me. At the same time, you are also my self-centered evil heart. Hey, that's what I was saying. Again, I keep getting shocked at how much this game really explains just outright. I like it. It makes me feel validated when I'm right. Because of my foolish greed sprouted by that mountain of gold, the shell of the egg that is my heart crack, and you were born into this world. I am responsible for your birth. In that case, when I killed Rosa and Maria, and then Rudolph, Kairi, and Hideyoshi, you were responsible for that too. Why did you kill my husband too? Why?
I didn't want to kill Hideyoshi. He was just so annoying and persistent. And that's your fault. It's your fault for choosing a husband like that.
A child like you couldn't understand what made that man so wonderful. Dear.
What the heck? Our dreams were made real with magic, right? We solved the riddle of the epitaph. Then we found the gold and got the head's ring. All of our dreams came finally true, right? What more could you want?
Those weren't all of our dreams. What about living a wonderful life with that person and giving George an excellent life? I still have many dreams that haven't come true. As a wife, as a mother. And yet...
Those are just extra dreams you added after becoming an adult. They aren't my dreams.
That's because you're a child. Do you only care about what's best for yourself? That's right. Everything is my fault. Back then, why did I resist doing what Rosa told me to? Why couldn't I announce to all of the siblings that I'd found the gold? It's all because I'm so hideous. My evil heart, which sprouted by my desire to have all that gold for myself, caused you to hatch.
It looks like you really hate me. Even though we're both Ushiro Miyaeva.
No, that isn't true anymore. And it was you who said it. I am Ushiro Miyaeva. And you are the Golden Witch, Beatrice. So just disappear! Witches are imaginary, illusions that only exist in fairy tales! Things like you should just disappear! Never appear in front of me again!
Yeah, you're right. I understand. I'll disappear from in front of you. And I am no longer Ushiro Miyaeva. From now on, I'm the Golden Witch Beatrice. So now, I can play however I want. I don't even care about you. If only you just give up and die.
Big feeling that Eva's going to die this chapter. Not chapter, this episode. Yeah, Umineko explains a lot, right, Sims? Umineko explains nothing, but nothing also happens. After having a very childlike tantrum, the witch who had once been another Eva vanished. Only Eva was left behind in the darkness, and she questioned herself. Me? I killed them? Did I kill that person? Did I kill him? She could no longer answer that question herself. It's hot as heck in this hot ass freaking room I'm in. This sucks. Anyways. It seemed that half asleep she had gotten some saliva caught in her windpipe just as she was dozing off. Ugh, I hate that when that happens. Eva suddenly started coughing.
Are you okay, Eva? Please, Otto, some water.
Yes. I'm fine, okay? I just choked a bit. Eva pushed away Natsui's hand as she tried to rub her back and unsteadily rose to her feet. I'm going to go wash my face. Sorry I fell asleep. When I get back, I'll make some more coffee. Extra strong, so that I won't even get drowsy until tomorrow morning.
Yes, please do. Your coffee's more to my taste than what Goda makes.
I'm glad to hear it, even if it's flattering. I'll be back soon. I was just listening and thought you were actually coughing. Why, thank you. That just means it was a good call. Eva exited the lobby, heading for the bathroom. Karase Natsui watched over her frail back.
if sometimes do you sometimes do show concern for Eva-san, even though you've always been so much at odds with her.
Isn't this how an older brother is supposed to be?
Yes, I believe you're right.
It isn't just Eva. There's Rudolph and Rosas too. So instead of acting like an older brother to them, all I ever did was speak arrogantly and bully them.
Wait. Krau's build-up? Krau's character growth? No way. This will help when I give them all Homestuck classes later. Earlier I was thinking about it and I was really struggling with Kraus. Because how little we know of him. I was thinking Heir of Void. Because he was born into the family as the head of the house. But truly he has inherited nothing because Kinso really left them nothing and he is just empty on the inside. That's what I was thinking. So he's finally off the crypto coins. Let's go. Chatter skip 20. No, I'm done. When I'm done class specting everyone, you will all see.
In my own way, I was frantic in my desire to be like a father. But I could never match up, and I always vented my feelings on them. But that is no excuse. I probably gave Ava scars so deep that they still have not healed. I regret it, but even if I apologize after all this time, it would do nothing to heal those wounds.
Like the two other people in Golden Line know what a class aspect is. I was also thinking of that. Like, you're the only one who's gonna understand, but I gotta do it. It's my life's goal. I need to do this. It's very important. You don't understand. I need to do this.
If you can hold on to that feeling instead of only letting it last for these moments, I'm sure your siblings will come to see it sooner or later.
Though by now, Eva is the only sibling I have left.
If only you and your siblings hadn't been born into the Ushirimiya family, we might have had a more fun sibling relationship.
You mustn't say that. Eva will probably continue to hate me for her whole life. And she has a right to. I intend to resign myself to that fact and accept it.
That was really sweet. That was nice. He's self-aware at least.
Dear.
Eva, I'm sorry. Of course you don't have to forgive me.
Of course I won't forgive you. What are you talking about after all this time?
Uh-oh.
Oh, so now you're feeling guilty. If only you just give up and die right now. Do it, Shyster sisters!
Gulp. If you laugh, you go to hell. Character tries to get character growth, instantly dies. 45 firing permission received. Reconfirming firing arc, correcting for weather discrepancies. Data link to 410. 410, data received, firing permission confirmed. Firing! GG's, bros, GG's. Together the sisters fired the magical bowstring they had ready. A beautiful tail trailed behind the gold arrow, and it drew a lovely curve as it flew. It was just like a gold snake. It skillfully avoided a grove of trees and flew towards the front door of the guest house. Then it flew into the keyhole of the door and snuck into the guest house without any problem at all. The goat snake raced down the hall smoothly, yet as fast as an arrow. Right before it hit the door to the lobby. When it flew into the keyhole, Kraus and Natsuki were all ready. For an instant, Kraus thought he saw a gold-colored sparkle in the keyhole to the door. However, at the same time as he strained his eyes to see what it was, that sparkle bent like a whip and attacked, wrapping itself around Kraus's neck. Just looking at it, the gold snake seemed very supple. However, it was as though a wire had tightened around Kraus's neck. And wow, that snake choke Kraus had extended even more and also tightened around Natsuhi's neck. Without even a chance to scream, their eyes bulged as they went into convulsions and then collapsed.
45 hit and kill confirmed. Formulating tower curve, revisiting capture points.
Towing curve.
Data link to 410. 410 data received. Initiating corpse towing. We got both of them.
The gold snake began to drag Kraus and Natsumi's bodies back. There is a Shaq pause image. So, last stream I did say that I was certain that Natsuhi and Kraus would die. Because, remember, I think Eva is the culprit of this episode. And well, leaving her here alone with the two other adults, it just made sense that they were next, so... But now I'm thinking, like, it's too obvious that it's Eva, ain't it? But, like, episode 2, it was too obvious that it was Shannon, and episode 1, it's too obvious that it was Kinso. So I don't know if I'm just falling for the red herring, I'm a fool, or if I'm just overthinking it. For now, those are still what I believe. Episode 1. Did streamer not just see the go? Oh. Quiet. So episode 1 Kinso, episode 2 Shannon. Well, episode 2 is still Kinso, but I don't think Kinso killed anyone in episode 2 like he did in episode 1. I think episode 2, the main killing, like at least the last one, was Shannon, right? Because Shannon was alone with George and Goda. In episode 3, obviously Eva. But again, it seems too obvious, so got my eye on that. Got my eye. But also no streamer favorite character. Sigh, last stream I was also, every stream, after like a certain stream, I've just been crying about how she peaked in high school. She's still my favorite, but I have accepted that she will never be relevant ever again, and she fell off and she's washed, and that's how it's be, you know, every episode, one character spotlight, so it makes sense, it's fine, whatever, don't care, whatever. They slipped through the door to the corridor, dragging the bodies, gradually increasing in speed. They rapidly pulled them outside the guest house. So the lobby was silent, as though nothing had happened. As though Kraus and Natsuhi had not been there since the beginning. Only the sound of the wind and the rain remained, as if they were playing dumb and pretending to be the only ones there. The rabbit and clog, alright. Sorry, I'm fine now. I'll go make some coffee. Eva returned from the bathroom, but no one was in the lobby. Even though they had supposedly been in that sofa until the moment she had choked and gone to the bathroom. They were gone, as if they'd been an illusion from the very beginning. How careless of them. What did those two go off to together? Eva put her hand on the sofa as though acting out a scene from a detective novel. She felt a warmth that meant they were sitting there until a short while ago. Maybe they went to do the rounds or something. For the time being, Eva sat down and waited for the return. And waited, and waited. Beato and George could be seen in the parlor of the mansion. Oh, wait. Shaq image again. Another thing you missed. Ruby Tomate. I said that if Shannon really does come back alive... Well, no. I told Sems Kasekuato to relay the message, so you know already. Thank you, Sems, for being the best of my link. Beato and George could be seen in the parlor of the mansion. George was kneeling near Shannon's body as though praying. His face... Sems, do you have something to say? Okay, let me speak. I said last stream that if Shannon really comes back alive, I went back to the red dialogue. I reread it as I am wont to do, and in short, the old theory that there's multiple servants we are unaware of in the mansion is back on the menu, baby. Because what Beatrice and Ronove keep saying is that there are no more than 18 people on the island. There's no more than 18 humans on the island. But furniture is not considered human or people. So that is my loophole right there. So methinks, and another thing was that Shannon and Kanon are not their real names. So when Beatrice said that Kinso, Kumasawa, Goda, Genji, Shannon and Kanon were confirmed dead in the first murder, in the first Twilight, Shannon and Kanon doesn't necessarily have to be our Shannon and Kanon. It could be another servant that took up the pseudonym, because that's all it is, it's just a title. So, the Shannon that died in the beginning was another servant that took up the name, and right now what we're going to see is Shannon coming back, quote unquote, coming back from the dead. But this one is our real Shannon, who never died since the start of the episode. So that is what my current theory on what's probably going to happen if she really does come back to life. So TLDR, the Shannon that died in the first Twilight was a secret servant that took up the name of Shannon, and our Shannon never died. And there are many secret servants around the mansions, because they keep saying only 18 people are in the island, even though they don't consider furniture to be people. So there you go. His face was serious, and there was even sweat on his forehead. However, Beata was the same. Now that she had handed her name over, most of her previous power had been lost. Of course, she still had more than enough power to be called a witch, but compared to the past, it was a very faint thing. Good. Don't talk to her. Don't touch her with your hand. Call to her with the voice of your heart, and seek her with the hand of your heart. Only your strong feelings can make my magic reach Shannon's lost soul. George kept praying earnestly and silently. He kept frantically yelling inside his heart, trying to call back the soul of the person he loved. He strongly envisioned his soul leaving his body and searching for her as she wandered through the land of the dead. Beato turned that strong force into magical power that supplemented her own magic. This was magic that in the past she could have performed easily without anyone's help. But now if she didn't rely on someone's assistance, she wouldn't be able to finish that chant, much less succeed. I've forgotten for several centuries. What's magic? What's her resurrection? Always this difficult? Beata was wearing an even more strange expression than George. It had slipped her mind, but originally the magic to survive life was the ultimate hidden art. The abnormal thing was her previous magical power, which could be used over and over with a snap of her fingers. So the heavy burden on her body and mind was, fundamentally speaking, extremely natural. However, this man's power, even though he doesn't know magic, it's nothing to be laughed at. I see. So he truly is Kinto's grandchild. The strong energy pouring from George was large enough to act as magical power. At first, Beato thought it must be the blood of Kinso, the sorcerer. However, that probably wasn't it. It's the power of Wab. She had a feeling that Butler had already told her what it was. It had been born from the power of George's sadness at the death of that person he loved, and from the way he had tried his hardest throughout his life. From the warm time spent together with Shannon to the size of the dream they swore to protect in the future. Shack image again. I was thinking about this last stream because it was making me cry. The George sections. That, I understand why we all hate George, but like, I might have to hand the title of Best Pedophile in Fiction to George, because I fear that I shouldn't speak. I'm not trying to justify it. I'm just saying it do be kind of sweet sometimes. That's all. Is it really possible for humans to take life so seriously, even though they only have a single one? Oh my god, you said that. Glad you convinced you that George the guy. It ain't working for me though. Look. You know, I haven't finished it yet. Maybe I go back to not liking him again. It was only natural. To her, a life didn't mean anything more than the difference between the top and bottom of an Othello piece. If the black represented death, then she thought all you had to do was flip it over again and make it white. However, it was just like that broken vase. To humans in a world without magic, where they cannot return things to their original form, it is very, very natural for them to bet their lives and soul. So, is an endless witch who can do as she pleases even with life and death, inferior to a limited human who can't even surpass the mountain of death? This time the witch acknowledged it. He was able to hold a magical power that could never reside in witches who didn't understand the value of a life. Why does this thing called the endless magic exist? Even though I called myself the endless witch, did I forget that the endless magic means for 1,000 years? She looked at George's expression again. His surging earnestness was like a lightning bolt. Right now, even if George's body had been burned or smashed by a waterfall, he would probably continue to pray for his beloved without minding it, without noticing it. For the first time, she showed respect for that power. So in that instant, all magical resistance was lost, and the enormous power of George's feelings turned into magical energy in its complete form. You know what else I forgot? Water. Oh well. Like, dude has moments where he really tries to get to your heart, but he ain't ever getting there. Oh gosh. This should be the one time that I don't try to be different from everyone. The vase was beautiful, rich with history and value. Even as young as I was, it still forced me to take a deep breath while I witnessed its beauty. But that just made me want to touch it. But the vase easily fell and smashed into pieces, like a bubble that had popped. I felt as though the time it possessed the form had been just an illusion. Lives are just that fragile, just that easily lost. I realized that my foolish curiosity had led to something that couldn't be undone. No matter how much I regretted it, no matter how much I apologized, the smashed vase wouldn't return back to its original form. A lost life will not return to normal no matter what happens. I was frightened that, even though my actions had been thoughtless and careless, they had stolen away a life that could never be revived again. Then I pitied that lost life, then cried. I was frightened of myself, the one responsible for his loss, and cried even more. Just odd wording that's making me think that another piece of Beatrice's trauma is that she accidentally killed someone back when she was young. There's just so much you can think, because we don't know how many people were involved. Like, we have a servant like Virgillia who was in Cuadorian. There could be the original mistress of Kinso. Maybe the original mistress had a child. Maybe that child is our Beatrice. But what if our Beatrice instead... No. I was gonna say maybe like, what if she's a grandchild? But I think that's silly. At most she could be the child of the mistress. So what? And there's like so many stories, because we can think that the mistress killed herself because of the story that Beatrice told so long ago. Maybe our Beatrice killed herself. Maybe our Beatrice killed the mistress. Maybe our Beatrice killed a servant like Virgillia. There's just too much, and I can't decide on a story because they're all satisfying in their own ways. Best pedophile in history. I can't believe you actually said that. I didn't invent it. It's a line. It's a line that exists. It is I'm gonna stop talking. Then I pitied the lost life and cried. I was frightened of myself, the one responsible for his loss, and cried even more. I'm sure the grandfather will also cry at the loss of his precious vase. See, that's weird. That's weird. That line right there. That's odd. Because Kinso's precious vase sounds like a allegory for the mistress. Because we have said that he sees his love, like as objects. He sees Beatrice and the mistress and everyone else as objects. That's why he calls his servants furniture. He sees people as objects for his enjoyment, just for him to enjoy. So it would be allegorical to call the mistress a precious vase. So did our Beatrice kill her mother? I wonder. Just too much. It's a Subahibi meme? I don't even know what that is. What's that? I'm sure that all the people who love grandfather and see him like that will cry. With the loss of a single life, the whole world can be filled with so much sadness. I cried even more at how terrible that was. Beatrice appeared and spoke.
Then, my lady, let us revive that vase with magic. If that will make everyone happy, the vase and the magic and the spirits will happily lend you their power and return to its original form.
TVH, I dislike how much of an advocate I am for death of the author. Because it just makes me think that everything is an allegory. And I just look too deep into everything, even though it makes no sense. Because like, now, right here we're seeing, it makes me feel like our Beatrice killed Mistress Beatrice. And the quote-unquote magic to revive and let us restore that vase is like the words that Kinso used with little Beatrice, as in, my mistress has died, but she will be revived through you. You are Beatrice now. And that is the allegory for reviving someone. Whatever. We'll happily lend you their power and return it to its original form. Come, my lady. Close your eyes and chant with me. Come, try closing your eyes and try to remember. What form did you have? It was surely a very, very beautiful form. Please, show me that form once more time. Those words of power knocked forcefully to the door onto the land of the dead. The magic of her old self had performed the same forceful knock. However, doing it that way was horribly violent and earned the displeasure of the peacefully sleeping dead. But this time was different. It was very forceful and yet gentle and loving. The dead never near the door opened their eyes and called out to the others that there was a voice calling for someone to come back. The sadness of that voice calling from the outside touched the hearts of the dead. and tried to respond as quickly as possible. They searched for Shannon's lost soul. And then they found it. They found the casket in which Shannon was peacefully sleeping. It truly was Shannon's soul sleeping in the land of the dead. Inside the casket there was covered with rose flowers frozen with frost, and was sleeping in peace. It does look like Norbrand. The dead silently lifted their casket up. While at a glance it looked like a funeral march, it had the complete opposite meaning. It was solemn, but filled with joy. The long-forgotten dead were made to remember that they were loved after their deaths, and they were all given a warm sense of peace. Then, as though guided by a light from the heavens, Shannon's body floated up out of the casket. The dead watched her go. They squinted at the warm light, offering their respects to this unknown member of the living, who had not lost his love for a person even after their death. Shannon's body was enveloped in the light from the heavens and began to disappear. The jet-black darkness of the land of the dead, the faint flickering of gold butterflies can be seen. I'm so scared. It reminded them of the gentle stars in the night sky which they had long forgotten. I'm scared. George remembered being told that he must not say anything, and he hurriedly covered his mouth. However, it felt like his heart was trying to jump into his throat, because he had seen Shannon's eyelids shake slightly. Then those eyelids slowly opened. Shannon's eyes were there, but they were still wrapped in a fog of the land of the dead. However, the human's world warmth, no, her lover's warmth, which had called back her soul, slowly dissolved that fog, and her eyes gradually regained their sparkle. Then her eyes moved and recognized George.
George, son.
As her lips shook weakly, Shannon definitely said that. The words were very faint, so much that they normally wouldn't have reached his ears. However, George clearly heard them. He heard the person he cared for, his fiancée, the one he loved most, and who should have been dead. 1 second. Back. Call his name once again.
Shannon. Shannon. Do you know who I am?
George, son. Is this a dream?
No. This isn't a dream. Come on. See here. Even if I pinch you, you won't wake up.
As George said that, he softly pinched Shannon's cheek. It was how George had always responded in the past, when Shannon had been surprised by something and had asked if she was dreaming. When Shannon felt the warm touch of George's finger on her cheek, and when George realized that the warmth of the living had already returned to his beloved person's cheek, they both cried. What word should a pair of lovers separated by death celebrate when they are reunited? The words of the human world are no longer enough. In short, they had no need for the words of this world. George simply hugged Shannon, who was sitting up without talking. Shannon's strength was still feeble, and putting her arms around George's back took all she had. So George hugged her tightly to make up for that, to stop each other from going once more to a place the other's hand couldn't reach. They hugged each other so tightly and yet so gently, as Shannon's fingers curled around George's back, on her ring finger. The engagement ring George had given her definitely shone. That strong glint certainly wasn't just the sparkle of a diamond. There definitely was the magical power that only the two lovers could possibly feel. It was because that strong light existed, and they had been able to find her casket in the land of the dead. Bato understood. That ring. No. The feelings of the pair embodied in that ring were a miracle made real. In that moment, George definitely used magic. Bato had done nothing more than help him along. That magic had a power that could only reside in those who knew of the importance of life, who knew what it meant to try with all one's might. It was the power of a miracle, one that the endless witch couldn't possibly know of. A miracle that only the power of the finite could give rise to. By now, she had no choice but to accept it. She had to accept that true magical power, exists in the place furthest away from she who called herself a great witch.
Beatrice-sama.
She brought you back to life. Thank you, Beatrice.
No, I did nothing. What Virgillia was your magical power. It was your magic. The Virgillia blood which makes miracles come true surely saw you through. George-san revived me. Indeed. It was an incredible display of magical power, one that I could not hope to compete with. So I am still nothing more than an apprentice. Now I finally know my place. Bato staggered backwards. Her physical strength was clearly exhausted. She had humbly said that George's power alone had revived Shannon, but Bato had also used all of her magical and physical strength. And she reflected upon how difficult it was to revive a single life. Something she'd been able to play around with however she wanted it to in the past. The couple kept on embracing each other tightly. By doing that, those feelings that couldn't be communicated with a billion words were shared.
Thank you, Beatrice. We're in your debt.
Thank you very much, Beatrice-sama. I'll never forget the debt I owe you for bringing me to George-sama.
Stop that. Stop that. Being thanked by a pair of lovers is far too embarrassing for one who has been feared as a monster of a person. Don't worry about me. Celebrate your reunion together to the fullest. Bato, who was leaning with her back against the wall, slipped down the wall and sat. How many centuries had it been since she last grew this tired from using magic? I probably haven't been this tired since the time I first succeeded in magic. Didn't teacher praise me that time? Oh, but didn't I kill that same teacher who praised me? When? Are you talking about now, as in like the Odin and all that? Or are you perhaps talking about way, way long ago? Don't be so naive, Beatrice. Isn't that what killing means?
Finally. It seems you finally remembered how to use magic.
My head feels parched and suffocated, and I can't even remember. More importantly, didn't I kill you? You shouldn't be appearing. What is she on about? She has to be talking about the past. So Virgillia was the person she killed. Maybe? I don't know, whatever. Future me problem.
You're still allowing me to live even now. That is why I can appear like this. However, I did not come just to pat your head.
Did you come to sneer at how pathetic I am? Anyway, if I had my head patted by a retired witch after all that's happened, the other witches will laugh at me.
That's right. According to your bragging, you were not only a full adult, but a retired one. And yet only now have you learned how to use magic. That certainly does sound too embarrassing to tell anybody.
Yeah, tell me about it. Keep it a secret, okay, teacher? Bato gazed at the couple hugging each other with a sense of pleasant blah blah blah.
Love, is it?
I'm no match. Whoa, song! 45 data received. Firing preparations concluded. Ammo type selected and loaded.
410 firing me.
The goat snake arrow fired by the chysters waved its way through the bushes in the rose garden, waved its way through the hedges, and climbed the stone steps towards the mansion's entrance, aiming for the keyhole. It waved through the corridors and flew into the keyhole on the door to the parlor. It happened in an instant. One could hardly blame Bato, who was completely worn out for not noticing it beforehand. Right before Bato's eyes, the goat snake flew in through the keyhole, surrounded the two lovers, and pierced the two hearts in the blink of an eye. Furthermore, the goat snake faithfully pierced the hole through Shannon's chest once more. The two hearts were pierced by the goat snake. No, by that goat sewing thread of that new brutal witch's furniture. And it had happened in an instant, mocking the amount of effort it had taken to revive Shannon. Before Bato's shocked eye, the two fell over and landed on the floor.
George? Shannon?
Thank you, Beatrice, for letting us meet, even just for a short while. Thank you. George spent his last breath thinking back and died alongside the one he loved. The goat snake, which still sewed the two in place, spun like a large cyclone, revolving around the inside of the parlor. It was searching for further prey in that room. Then the tip of the snake met Bato's gaze. In that instant, Bato was prepared to die. In that moment, Virgillia stood in front of her, the fingers of both her hands drawing a seal. Instantly, gold-colored gold leaf buried the inside of the parlor. It was like a blizzard of gold.
Bato, run while you can. No one can escape from the Chyster's golden bow. 410 target lost. Yeah, it's magical chaff. 45, roger that. Modifying search algorithm, switching to anti-personnel damage-based tracking. Target log required. Reacquired. Data link to 410. If 410 data received. Too slow, Princess-sama. Coming. Impact.
Prey targeted by the Chyster sisters' golden bow did not escape. It could not be blocked. No magical barrier could even dream of blocking it without being multi-layered. The gap opened during that instant of confusion caused by Virgilia's deception magic was Bato's only chance to escape, and it was the only chance to make the sisters confuse Virgillia for battle. As Virgillia spread her arms wide, blocking the way to her beloved disciple, the goat snake pierced straight through her heart. After sneaking in through the keyhole, the snake shot through George, Shannon, and then Virgillia in an instant, completely failing to notice Bato as she used that instant to escape. As soon as Virgillia saw that Bato had gotten away, she died. The strength left her body, and like gold dust drifting with the wind, her form was erased. Bato completely erased all traces of her magical power, became gold butterflies and passed through the wall, escaping to the wind and rain onward, outside.
Damn it! You bitch! You bitch!
Bato felt regret from the bottom of her heart. Why? Because she had been attacked by the new witch? Probably not. Of course she hated losing her teacher. But even more importantly, Bato was enraged at the barbarism that had boorishly stolen away the reunion between two lovers. Bato had poured out almost all of her magical power to reunite them. Even though the result had been a miracle, the time it took to steal that away has been so ridiculously short. Bato trembled at the barbarous cruelty that had brought about such an abrupt end. Besides, this was the true form of the acts she herself had committed up until that point. Just So just as strongly as Batohaira that knew which, she also looked at her previous self with disgust. But now she had to escape. If she was targeted next, she would probably lose her life. To think that a chess player had descended thinking they were like a god, only to be attacked by the pieces. "45, input confirmed, target scattered. Without a doubt, we crushed the predecessor sama. Looks like our pile of kill medals is gonna get bigger again."
Oh, what was that about loving couples? You get to enjoy tearing the two apart by death reuniting them and then tearing them apart again, right? And along with that, I get to say goodbye to that damn fussy old hag. Run away, you don't have any complaints, right?
I do not. Beatrice-sama?
That person interfered with the ceremony of the witch's epitaph, you see. She revived the sacrifice from the first twilight without permission, obstructing my ceremony. She's got no right at all to complain. But it sucks that she didn't leave a corpse behind. And I thought I'd be able to torture that old hag to death over and over again endlessly.
Oh jeez. GG's, I guess. Not sure. I mean, I don't know. Nothing. I got nothing. I just. Very interesting, but. Whoa! What is the song? Rhythm changer, yeah. Well, as I was saying, again, I am once again validated in the fact that I said Eva would lose everything. She lost Hideyoshi, and now she lost George, so I was right. Play Rhythm Doctor, that's the song title.
George did it. No, I didn't see him. When did he come down?
When you say, what hour was that again?
I think it was probably around 4 o'clock or 5. At the very least, it was more than an hour ago.
We got sleepy and probably dozed off after that. But I think it's probably like Jessica says, about 1 or 2 hours ago.
I also remember something around that time. I was asked if I wanted more coffee.
Something hard to believe had happened. Apparently when Aunt Eva had left for a second to wash her hands, Uncle Kraus and Aunt Natsuki had disappeared. There was no way they were hiding somewhere. Of course the doors and windows had all been rigorously checked and all were locked from the inside. Not one of them was broken. And that wasn't just true for the front door, the second floor was the same. Again, all the doors and windows had locks built in a way that made it impossible to lock them from the outside. In other words, there was no way that Uncle Kraus and Aunt Natsuki had gone outside, and yet they couldn't be found. Furthermore, they weren't the only ones who had disappeared, so had George Aniki of all people. George Aniki had left saying he was going to get more coffee, and had gone downstairs more than an hour earlier. We'd assumed that he was having a conversation with Aunt Eva and the rest, but Aunt Eva, who had been in the lobby the whole time, said that no one had come down. Since all the doors and windows were locked from the inside, it was unthinkable that they had gone outside. However, 3 humans had evaporated from this barricaded guest house, which had become a perfect closed room. In a situation like this, we couldn't imagine that this was because they were playing hide and seek and trying to scare us with a prank. It was probably reasonable to assume that they'd been caught up in this crime. When Aunt Natsuki had learned her only son was missing, she had gone half insane, running around from room to room and yelling his name. And Jessica, who had suddenly lost both her parents, had chased after her. Cries of George, Mom, Dad had continued to echo throughout the guest house for some time. I think George said something about wanting to see Shannon's dead face. It would be reasonable to assume that he snuck out of the guest house and went to the mansion. But I didn't have a clue about Uncle Kraus and Aunt Natsuki. Did they see him leave and then go to the mansion to search for him? Without even telling Aunt Eva. At this rate, it's only a matter of time before we start planning to leave the guest house to go search for them. Changing positions? There you go, new position acquired. When that time comes, I'll agree. We thought staying holed up in this guest house would be safe. Which is why our big happy group of 12 people locked themselves up here this morning. And yet now only 4 of us are left. That means staying here is no longer a guarantee of safety. However, there's one thing we can't afford to forget. All the doors and windows were locked from the inside. This is a closed room. How did they manage to vanish from this place? We searched around thoroughly. However, we couldn't find any traces of anyone hiding. The 3 of them had almost certainly been taken outside the guest house.
I wonder how it was done. You don't think there might be something like a hidden door?
A hidden door?
The doors and the windows were built in a way that makes them impossible to lock from the outside. Even using a fish line, it would probably be impossible with the way they're constructed.
It's too obvious. I have to be wrong. I have to be wrong. It's not Eva. It cannot be Eva. It's just way, 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 way too obvious. But I don't have a secondary theorem. Whatever, I guess.
So it may be reasonable to assume that they left via something other than a door or a window.
You're right. That does make logical sense. No one can be sure that no hidden doors exist. However, before leaping into the conclusion, I suspect a much simpler possibility.
And what would that be?
For some time, Butler had been opening windows and opening shutters and checking outside, repeating this for each window. This window's pretty quiet. I see. Unlike the other windows, because of how the building is shaped, the wind doesn't blow into this one.
It appears that way. It feels strange that no wind or rain comes in, even though there is so much of it outside.
Dr. Nanjo? When I opened the window just now, did you hear a sound?
Huh? No, I did not notice it. I believe it is well oiled.
In other words, it's possible to slink through a window in the hallway with no one else looking. Furthermore, the wind doesn't blow in through this window, so the air pressure wouldn't cause the curtains or the door to make a sound. It'll be quiet. Butler leaned forward and looked to the ground below. He was searching for some sign that George had jumped down, but at a glance he didn't see any mark like that on the grass in the middle of the pouring rain. There might also be a window like this on the first floor. It's possible to go outside without anyone noticing.
However, not only the doors, but the windows too are all locked, and the shutters are even down as well, correct? It may be possible to go out through them, but you couldn't lock them afterwards.
Sure, you can lock them. Just like this. Butler closed the door and locked it, as though this was perfectly obvious.
Butler-sama, you are saying...
Oh, someone in the inside, yeah. If someone inside locked it afterwards, this closed room is as easy as pie.
What that means? That means... Oh...
Nanjo turned pale and shook his head several times. Because the thing Butler had said had forced him to face a fact that was frightening even to imagine. That's only if the trick I'm thinking of actually happened, okay? However, with this trick, only a very limited number of people can be suspected. He didn't want to say it in front of Nanjo, but after eliminating Jessica, who had been with him the whole time, only Nanjo and Eva could have done it. And Nanjo's a bit too, rotund to do that effortlessly. Wait, no. You're saying that they locked it. Never mind, I'm sorry. Nanjo could have locked it easily.
I did not do anything of the sort. Yes, I swear it.
In that case, it becomes a battle between Aunt Eva and Dr. Nanjo for an alibi. I'm sorry, Sams, I'm sorry. Anti-clip it. Just, I'm gonna go back and edit that out. We just have to suspect both of you and confine the 2 of you separately. To say it the other way around, the more survivors there are, the more effective this trick might be. But since our numbers have shrunk so much, it isn't effective at all. No, on the contrary, there'd be a chance of having your own neck strangled by using it. It would have been more advantageous to make it look like the culprit was outside. To intentionally leave a door unlocked or break a window. If this disappearance drama had taken place midday today, I'd be able to claim this theory with full confidence. However, at this stage, I'm not confident at all. What's going on here? What in the world does it mean? This closed room.
You don't think,
What is it, Dr. Nanjo? Even if it's just a thought, please say it. Nanjo looked like he was trying to swallow his words, even though he thought of something, so I urged him on. After Dr. Nanjo refused several times, saying it was just a foolish idea, he finally said it out loud.
well, don't you think this might actually be the work of the witch?
I thought for a second he was going to say something smart. My apologies. Ridiculous. There's no way witches exist.
The witch is trying to make her case to us, specifically saying she's doing things that humans cannot do. She must be trying to make us accept her as a witch. To me, this disappearance from the closed room of the entire guest house feels like that kind of message from the witch. It's something I must not think of.
You're making me have to reverse clip everything, thank you, Sems. Sems, I ordered you to delete that message from Orion Ember.
It's something I must not think of, surely. It cannot mean anything. Oh, I am frightened.
As Dr. Nanjo shook with fear, it looked like he was trying to erase that fearsome thoughts that he kept imagining one after the other. When we went down the stairs, Aunt Eva and Jessica were enraged. And were each persistent in the desire to leave this place and search for their respective family. It was a desire that naturally hits those who can no longer see their family. Aunt Eva told Dr. Nanjo and me to stay here, but I shook my head and started walking. I've been shut up inside for a long time already. I started wanting to breathe some outside air.
Yeah, if we're going, let's go quickly. There's no way I'm gonna keep myself shut up in a place like this anymore. Let's go and find Mom and Dad and George.
The blood had all risen to Jessica's head. I hope it doesn't set off her asthma.
If anyone wants to stay, go ahead and stay. We'll be searching outside.
What about you, Dr. Nanjo? Will you watch the place by yourself?
No, allow me to join you.
Rather than holding up alone in a guest house, whose security was no means guaranteed, it would be better to enter a dangerous zone as a group of 4 people. Eva had a gun. Moving separately from her was almost like asking to be made into the next victim. In this way, the 4 of us decided to leave the guest house. Even though it should have been safe to barricade ourselves here, we lost 8 people after doing so. It was almost as though this was holding us. What? It was almost as though this was a holding cell. Okay, from which the sacrifices could be killed one after another. We removed the chain, unlocked the front door and opened it. It was already pitch black. While there was some lights outside that dimly lit the pathway, they didn't have enough power to pierce the darkness that some suspicious person might be hiding in. I'm going. If you fall behind, you're on your own, okay? Still holding her gun, Aunt Eva dashed out without an umbrella. Jessica followed after her. After glancing at each other, Dr. Nanjo and I chased after them. What in the world is happening in this mansion on this island? Rare witch hunt grammar error. Yeah, I've noticed a few, but, you know, when you're you're the bad route now. No! I was saying, when this thing is longer than the Bible, you know, I can forgive some typos. I've been shut up in the guest house with the rest of the cousins since yesterday, so I don't know anything about what's going on outside. Just what is happening that I don't know about. Outside this room, in the mansion, on this island, everything is happening, everything is proceeding, and everything is ending without my knowing it. Somewhere in my heart, I've already started giving up. Most likely, not one of us will see tomorrow morning. When the seagulls cry, nobody will be left alive. Bam! Just in time. My laptop battery has 16 minutes left. Holy cow. So yes, we're ending now. And surely next stream will be the end of episode 3. I am very excited to see the end of this. And very sad. Because that will probably mean no more Eva batteries. I hope not. I really like her. 6 more chapters. What? Ako, never mind then. I thought, since there's 4 left, I thought, it was gonna be the end soon. Oh, you know what? The rest of the end is probably gonna just focus on Eva batteries and her battle with batteries. Oh, I'm so excited for that. Anyways, that's all. I will now proceed to leave. Good night to all. Have a wonderful night and thank you for watching. And about Orion's message,